Okay, what factors led you to choose this cap?
Okay, so there are other ways that people can get their voice heard, but a very prominent way someone can actually contribute to lawmaking is voting. And especially in the Mission District too, there's a proposition that's going to be helping them out with the rent control and the rent issues in the Mission. So if they can actually vote for that, that'd be great. And in general, I'm sure other people had mentioned this is a right that so many people before us have fought for, so we should be utilizing it.
We saw that in the Mission District, it was the lowest amount of voters that actually voted in the last election, and we felt that it was really important to shine a light on those people and see what we can do to motivate them to vote for what's on the ballot now.
Well, people in the Mission, I think, are not as represented in voting, and all of the families there, I thought a lot of them were not as understanding of voting rights. And as youth, I think it's important that we better understand what the propositions are, so that when we grow up, we know what we're fighting for.
Okay. What do you think motivates people to vote?
Probably something that motivates people to vote is like if they see an issue that's affecting them, or that something that's connected with them, they're going to want to vote for that because they're going to want to change it and make a good impact in their community.
I think what motivates people to vote is knowing that their vote is going to make a difference, and also voting for something that they care about, which usually ends to a higher turnout, or knowing how it's going to affect them or others that they know.
I believe people want to change. People want to change in this world, so I feel like that's that's the key they want to vote, because they also think about like future generations. As for me, like voting, like I never really thought about voting, so I feel like now that I know, like I'm aware about it and I'm aware of all the propositions that there is, like I can be a resource for people, but I can also be part of the change in this world.
How do you think voting impacts our community or society?
Oh, voting impacts the community by bringing everyone together towards one common goal, and having people in their community fight for something that they want.
Well, again, I think voting, it impacts your community directly, because whether it's voting on like representatives, like the president, your mayor, school board elections, propositions, voting on laws, everything directly impacts your community. Like, for example, Costa-Hawkins, I'm sure a lot of people have talked about that, and it directly impacts the community in San Francisco, because affordable housing is so important, and right now it's not really where we want it to be. So yeah, just going out and voting and getting your voice heard.
I think having a voice in government and policy really helps your community, because the people who are impacted by the decisions that are being made are getting to make the decisions.
So what may interest you in voting in the future?
What will interest me in voting in the future is that I will be able to get my voice heard in upcoming elections.
I think just being able to have my voice be heard and just to make an impact on the world in itself.
For me, I really enjoy seeing policies and different presidential campaigns that I'm interested in. Those things will affect me in the future, and that's what I'm gonna vote on.